Scoring for Hopkins, number 15, Olivia Michelson. Time of the goal, 1:11. Scoring for Hopkins, number 12, Emma Gallinson. Time of the goal, 2:02. Gallinson at 2:02.
Welcome to ParkTV 16 Sports. We are just underway here watching girls varsity lacrosse featuring the visiting Hopkins Royals and the St. Louis Park Orioles. And right off the bat, Hopkins got goal number 1. And who was the one that scored that goal? 15. Number 15 is Olivia Michelson. So the score, now we had a second goal there, I see. And the second one is 12. So right off the bat, Hopkins Royals has a 2-0 lead. Barely 2.5 minutes into the first half. St. Louis Park comes in with a 1-1 record. Hopkins, not surprisingly, after those first 2 goals, comes in with a 2-0 record. St. Louis Park is in their white uniforms, orange numbers, and they are going from right to left, and they do have the ball in their possession, trying to get on the board here early on. I'm Robert Christensen. Glad you're with us on a beautiful late April afternoon day. Temperatures in the upper 60s, blue skies, not too much wind out there. And we have a whistle and a stoppage.
Good job. Hey, double the ball, Mary, double the ball. Go ahead, honey, you can double. Yeah, that's right, Mandy. Go ahead.
And play back underway. That's number 13 with it for St. Louis Park. Her name is Anna Nichols. She's a junior forward. Ball not on the ground. Picked up by number 7 for Hopkins. That is Mary Schutte. She's also a senior defender. And we got another whistle, and down hard goes number 16 for St. Louis Park. Is that number 15? Their numbers are awful small for playing on a big field like that. I'm going to tell you that right now. Sometimes very difficult to see, especially in this flat light. That's number 4 trying to get it there, Abby Meyer. Meyer loses it, and it's picked up by Hopkins, number 17, before she loses it. Number 17 for Hopkins is Hannah Regnold Arms, junior, and now she has it again, getting harassed there and bumping it off her basket was number 23, Jarils Lopez, a sophomore midfielder. Now ball across midfield by Hopkins, and running with it and losing it, but picking it back up. Number 6 is Claire Diamond Wheeler. Wheeler now all the way down in the corner. She's got to be tired. She must have run about 60, 70 yards. And she gives it up to her teammate, number 8. That is Grace Schultz. No, excuse me. Number 8 is Kristin Mandeville. And St. Louis Park just sort of in a passive defensive set there. A lot of cutters across the middle for Hopkins. Now number 12 will take it. That's Emma Gallinson. And the ball goes out of bounds. Clock still running at 19:29 to go. If you're just joining us, Hopkins got off to a quick 2-goal lead. And now they have possession in the St. Louis Park zone. That is number 21 with it, Charlotte Rich. I remember her name for hockey, perhaps, earlier this year. Now that's number 21 for Hopkins, Charlotte Rich once again. Rich holding it behind the net. St. Louis Park playing a spread out defense. Now it's over to number 2. That's Shay Nelson. Nelson to 12. That is Emma Gallinson. And around the horn, at the top of the key there is Olivia Mike-Gilson. And Mike-Gilson gives it up, cuts through. Now it's in the middle, ball loose, and still loose. And it comes out in the middle, and still having a hard time picking it up, but they're picking it up for Hopkins is Rich. Now Richett brings it all the way into the corner, being chased there by number 8 for St. Louis Park. That's Grace Schultz. And ball still on the ground, now picked up by number 5 for Hopkins. That's Sarah Cosberg, senior defender. Now up top to 12, Emma Gallinson. Gallinson with it. Standing around, trying to penetrate that defense. There is room in the middle, and there's always cutters coming through, much like basketball, cutting through the lane. Now she comes in, does a spin move, and her shot goes right over the crossbar and out of bounds. We'll see who they give possession to. That was number 12, Gallinson, with a nice spin move there. And a good shot. There's the replay. Yeah, nice job by our camera crew. Showing you that replay. Now playback underway. That's Sarah Cosberg for Hopkins. So St. Louis Park absolutely dominating the time of possession with the ball here. Number 15, that's Mickelson, and her pass gets away, loose, almost picked up by St. Louis Park, but then again, that's Gallinson, number 21 with it. Or Charlotte Rich, I should say. I'll get these names and numbers together here pretty soon. Number 8 now, that's Kristin Mandeville. And now number 8 with it is Mandeville. Mandeville now will lead off the offense, and Hopkins still maintaining control here. St. Louis Park just having a hard time scooping up the loose balls in their defensive end. Here they're tried again, and they lose it again. And now they're trying to get it again, and that is number 14 that gets it. That's Erin Brousseau, and Brousseau now off to the races, but she loses it, unforced there. Yeah, picks it up, but it goes out of bounds, or no, it's still in bounds, no whistle. Referee on the far side there, now he blows the whistle and gives the ball back to St. Louis Park. Clock still running, 6.5 minutes to go here, first half. Now St. Louis Park with it on the far side. That's number 22 with it, Haley Weinman. Weinman pass ahead, and it's picked up there by number 13. I believe that's Carmen Hashka. Hashka with it now, trots around behind the Hopkins goal. Trotska, yeah, pass centering. She was open, but couldn't handle the pass. And now ball loose at midfield, and who's gonna get it here? It's a scrum, and now Hopkins comes away with it, and that is Charlotte Rich. Rich off to the races, splits by 2 St. Louis Park defenders, going for the 3rd and 4th one, and then we got a whistle just as she was coming in there. And that is going to be a infraction on St. Louis Park. And they're gonna set it back up here. Everyone has to freeze where they were. It's kind of like that backyard game where you freeze. I can't remember what it is, statue or something back in the 70s. And now after the whistle, picked up here by Hopkins, coming in there is number 2 right on the doorstep. That's Shay Nelson, senior forward. And they're going to give it back to her, and she's going to have an excellent opportunity. This is much like a penalty shot, actually. And she's going to come right in, point blank, and she puts it in the net for a 3-0 lead with 14:57 to go. Shay Nelson on the whistle, the senior forward. Are they waving it off now? Producer Paul Broden tells me it looks like they are waving it off. Very difficult to know what these calls are from so far away. And from my lack of knowledge of a lot of the rules of lacrosse, unfortunately. I'm trying to learn as many as I can, and it's hard to decipher what the hand signals are by the referees. But meanwhile, St. Louis Park now, nice little display of pass and catch there as they get the ball over midfield. That's number 22 with it for St. Louis Park, Hallie Weinman. Weinman still with it, and she gets it inside there. Nice pass and catch. I think that was number 12 that caught it for St. Louis Park, Sarah McKellen. And they blew the whistle, and now McAllen will have it, and a real nice chance to get on the board here with 14 minutes approximately left to go. Clock's still running, and are we ready to go? Nope, still directing traffic. The refs want her way over there behind the line. They're talking about the woman that's behind the net. And now the big shot and a goal right off the bounce past the goaltender, number 49 for Hopkins. Leah Bosch unable to stop it, the 9th grader, and the goal goes to Sarah McAllen. And St. Louis Park now cuts the deficit to just 1. Nice job there by the Orioles, staying with Hopkins here.
Number 12, Sarah McAllen.
That will be unassisted.
The goal, 11.
Coming off the field for St. Louis Park there, number 13. That's Anna Nichols. And so we'll go back to the face-off circle. So nice to see the Orioles get on the board here. For a while there, it seemed like Hopkins was going to run away with it early. But we have ourselves a match. If you're just joining us, Hopkins got 2 quick goals in the first couple of minutes, and now St. Louis Park wins that face-off. Again, McAllen, and now we have another penalty. Boy, they blow the whistle a lot in girls lacrosse. All right, McAllen now. Oh, got a director. It's like a director in a play telling the actors where their marks are, and then they can go. It's kind of a strange thing to watch, actually. Okay, now picking it up for St. Louis Park, 17. That is, or 18. Nope, 37. Is that her number? 37. That's Ryan Rasmussen, 9th grader. Ball loose. St. Louis Park, though, applying pressure here. Short pass intended for number 1, Alyssa Barth. Can't quite handle it. Ball loose, and the goaltender for the Hopkins Royals picks it up, and she has it behind the net, and she'll try to get her Royals off, and she does. Nice outlet pass there to number 17 for the Royals. That is Hannah Regnold Arms, and now we have another whistle, and we'll set the characters up, but now St. Louis Park has possession, and as she tried to throw it, it just came out of her basket behind her. Ball loose and picked up. Nope, still loose. Now it's picked up by St. Louis Park. Nice little move there by number 18 who picked it up. 18 is Emma Roloff. Now pass in there to McAllen, and McAllen comes in and shoots, and it goes wide, or was it deflected? Hard to say in this light. And here's the replay. See what we can see here. Look at that nice pass and catch by McAllen on the run. That is impressive by Sarah McAllen, and her shot just goes wide left. And that, but nevertheless, St. Louis Park has possession. And now Hopkins does, the goaltender, Leah Bosch. Leah Bosch, I think she might be the goaltender on the hockey team. In one of the last games we did this season, she just put on a heck of a performance against Edina with something like 50 saves. I'm almost sure that's the same name. It rings a bell. And now she's playing goal for Lacrosse. Makes sense, doesn't it? So, good for Leah Bosch. Yeah, that was the game against Edina earlier this year where Edina beat them 4-0 in the playoffs. And when the game ended, St. Louis Park and Hopkins Park girls team, they came out and mobbed the goaltender as if they'd won the game, and they should have. That was an unbelievable goaltending performance by Leah Bosch. So a lot of these girls know each other because they combined for the same hockey team, I'm just realizing. So both these teams very familiar with each other personally. All right, now we're going to have another great opportunity here for St. Louis Park, and there's the shot, and Bosch does look like she saved it. Ball goes out of bounds, and who are the refs going to give it to? And it looks like St. Louis Park's going to retain possession as I see Alyssa Barth pick it up, and she does, and they're back in play as we approach 10.5 minutes to go here, first half.
Help her, go ahead, Mary.
And now number 12, McAllen. She's got the lone goal for St. Louis Park. Clearly one of their elite players on that St. Louis Park team, McAllen. Showing great skill out there. She picks up the ball, getting harassed though. Great pressure defense, and there's some contact Down goes the Hopkins player. Whistle ensues. And St. Louis Park's going to retain possession. Number 42 for St. Hopkins was Lindsay Sperling, and she was the girl that went down. Now play underway, ball loose, just to the left of the goal. Picked up again by St. Louis Park. He's playing much better than after the first few initial minutes. Now number 3 for Park. That is Grace Lynch. Now McAllen, now behind the net. St. Louis Park now getting some possession time. Number 3 in traffic, still has the ball, getting harassed, gets knocked free. And we got a whistle. Number 3, Grace Lynch there, getting right in close, in traffic. Draws the whistle, and I think, did they turn the ball over? They did. St. Louis, or Hopkins now has it. And now gets the Malachi crunch from 2 St. Louis Park players. Number 4 and number 37. 4 for St. Louis Park is Abby Meyer. 37 is Ryan Rasmussen, and they crunched her. If you're familiar with the old Happy Days episode from the 70s, the Malachi crunch was a famous phrase back then. Everybody watched Happy Days back then. All right, now ball back into the 4 offensive zone for Hopkins. That's number 22 with it on the run, Ashley Normandine. And Normandine loses it to number 21, though, picked it up for Hopkins, Charlotte Rich. And now Rich gets it to, or almost tried to get it to Normandine. And now St. Louis Park has it, and the goaltender for St. Louis Park, I can't get her number, is that number 44, I believe? Molly Hallett. Nice job by Hallett with that outlet pass, and now it's leading to St. Louis Park's number 4, Abby Meyer, coming all the way in, and her shot is stopped by Bosch. She's a good goaltender in any sport, and now here comes Hopkins number 2. That is Shea Nelson. Shea Nelson off to the races, crosses the 30, the 25, the 20, coming in almost all alone. Now she gets pushed away. Nice defense there right at the end. 2 defenders coming in to stop her and cut her off. Forces the ball back out on top. That's number 12 for Hopkins with it, Emma Gallinson. Gallinson now. Over to that's number 9 for Hopkins, Rayla Plotkin. Plotkin is a junior defender. Plotkin now directing traffic at the top of the key, that's number 8, Kristin Mandeville. Now number 12 with it, Emma Gallinson. Gallinson waiting for someone to get open. She's going to take it on her own. Cuts left, shoots, and gets blocked in front. She picks up her own rebound. Now she's going to wheel around, takes a shot, blocked by the goaltender. Nice job by Molly Hallett. Makes the save. Rebound came out and a whistle. Clock's still running now. 7 minutes to go right now. And we got a stoppage. I think St. Louis Park has the ball right at about the 28-yard line, the near hash mark, and they do. And St. Louis Park now off the races, crossing midfield. Can't read her number. It's kind of tucked into her shorts in the back there. Is that number 23? Might be. Let's say it is. Jerlise Lopez, and then we have another whistle. Ball, no, Paul picked up. Clock continues. Play continues. Number 8 is Grace Schultz. Schultz now with it. Does a spin move, trying to find somebody open. Not too many people are moving around for her, though. She needs her teammates to get moving. And she's getting harassed. Somebody needs to help her out. If you're an Oriole fan, and she spins away nicely. But still trying to get it away. There she gets it to someone open on the far side, finally. I think that's Lopez. Lopez in the corner, way far side out there. Beautiful sunshine here at St. Louis Park High School. Glad you're with us with ParkTV 16 Sports on location. Park down 2-1. After a couple quick goals, they answered back, and there hasn't been a lot of scoring for the last 5-10 minutes. And there's a shot on net, blocked in front. Rebound comes back to St. Louis Park. That's number 3 again. Grace Lynch for the Orioles. Orioles looking a lot better than they did in the initial minutes. They come in with an 0-2 record, looking to get on. They come in 1-1, excuse me. Trying to get a winning record.
Go ahead, Mary. Yep. There you go, Mary.
Ball comes loose, errant pass, loose ball, picked up by Hopkins, number 12. That is Emma Gallinson, and now Gallinson gets it over to number 2. That's Shay Nelson, and Shay Nelson, as she's running down the field, I thought I heard a whistle, but nope. Must have come from the stands, and now there's a whistle. Way back. The official, maybe it's a timeout. Not sure what's going on. Everyone drops their sticks. I suppose to remember where they were. Yeah, I think we have a timeout by St. Louis Park with 4:40, or Hopkins, I should say. So Hopkins takes their first timeout with 4:49 to go. I'm not sure why they called timeout. They had possession. They seemed to have an advantage as Shane Nelson was running down the field. But while they're taking that timeout, let's look at the Metro West 2019 regular season standings. Benilde St. Margaret's is 1-0 in the conference, 1-1 overall. And since we're talking about Benilde, I did notice in the paper they got shellacked by Eden Prairie yesterday, like 24-1 or something like that. So Eden Prairie, that's pretty impressive since St. Louis Park Lacrosse has been pretty stellar the last few years. But Eden Prairie obviously had their way with them yesterday. But looking at the standings, just early on here in the season, Jefferson 1-0, Kennedy 1-0, Chaska 0-0, 2-0 overall, Chanhassen, Robbinsdale, Cooper, and then we have St. Louis Park 0-1 in the conference, 1-1 overall. And I don't think this is a conference matchup, or is it? Is Hopkins in the Metro West? They're in the Lake, so this is another. Yeah, non-conference matchup here, but boy, you couldn't ask for better weather, especially in late April. You never know. It's only April, what, 23rd today? I can remember snowstorms late in April. I can remember snow on Memorial Weekend in May sometimes in Minnesota back in the day. So you just never know. It's hit or miss in the spring, but fortunately, it's a beautiful day out here. Good set of fans here from both sides. Enjoying the late afternoon, early evening sunshine. As the timeout continues, there's the coach for St. Louis Park, Kyle Sweeney. Assistant coaches with him, Alex Polk, Christine Patino, and Ellie Hendricks. Student manager is Ella Thomas. And of course, the athletic director is Andrew Ewald. Okay, out of the timeout, Hopkins will have possession. 4:49 to go here, folks. Hopkins trying to extend their lead. As I mentioned earlier, they scored a couple goals right off the bat, and St. Louis Park tightened up their defense and tightened up their offense, got a goal, and been playing great defense. Lacrosse can be high scoring, but boy, this is just 2-1 here as we approach the end of half number 1. All right, everyone's set, and number 2 will have the ball for Hopkins. Shay Nelson on the far side, and now she's off. She'll trot around towards the back as her teammates will rotate, and everyone comes into the picture now from the left side to help out. And we're back underway. Now the pass picked up there again by Hopkins. Now it's to number 15 for Hopkins. That is Olivia Mikielsen, and Mikielsen comes right in. No, she gives it up to number 12. Excuse me, that's Emma Gallinson. And Gallinson gets it behind the net to 22, Ashley Normandine. All picked up there by 12, Gallinson. And they're moving the ball around. Clock still continuing as we approach 4 minutes. Now Gallinson tries to drive the middle, turned away nicely there by the tough defense for St. Louis Park. So they're kind of like in a zone, man-to-man matchup sort of zone, if you can equate it with basketballs. Number 15, Mikielsen tries to approach. Now she gives it up to Gallinson. Gallinson comes on the left side. Gets steered away there nicely by both. Number 15 for St. Louis Park, Olivia McClinton. And number 18, Emma Roloff, as we have a whistle. And I think we got a penalty. Yes, we do. Coming off is number 18 on that defensive play, Emma Roloff. So she is off, and that means, I don't know if she got her stick up too high. That's the only thing I can remember that might be an infraction in a game like this. So now Hopkins with the player advantage and a 1-goal lead. Clock stopped now at 3:38.
first half. Okay, now we come in, Gallinson with it. Gallinson trying to fight her way in, and nice job, nice help there by St. Louis Park. All three came over to push her away, and they went right back. Nice to see that, great defense. Now coming in is 15 for Hopkins, and she gets pushed away. That's Olivia Milkison. It's Michaelson, though. It's Michielson, so I'm pronouncing it Michaelson, but maybe it is Mickelson. Interesting spelling. Okay, play Michaelson will have it. On the far side at about the 5-yard line and the far hash mark. All right, getting everything straight. Tie your shoes, double tie them. Nope, stop, go to the left side with your ball. Okay, underway. Nice pass. Oh, a little low. She was open though. Intended for Gallinson, and now ball loose and picked up by Hopkins. Once again, number 8 does a nice job. Kristin Mandeville picking that ball up the ground, saving the offensive possession for Hopkins. Now Michaelson drives left, and she gets pushed away. She swings around the net, trying to wind her way back around, and she just did a 360. She comes right back in, shoots, scores, but they blew the whistle, I think, before the shot. And they're going to put her back. Boy, she went all the way around and then some.
There was no goal. Play was whistled dead. No goal.
So not sure what the infraction is. That's my biggest frustration. I got to learn that. All right, now Michaelson will have a point-blank shot. Looks like she's going to shoot from the left side. And let's see if St. Louis Park can come up with a save here. Clock running, 1:53 and counting. Okay, everybody's set. Okay, she comes right in on net, shoots and misses. Wow, point-blank range. St. Louis Park dodges a bullet there, but I think the Hopkins Royals are going to retain possession. No, they don't. St. Louis Park has it. Nice job there by St. Louis Park with 1:40 to go. Let's see if they can tie this thing up late in the first half as they drop the ball. Now it's loose as they try it along the left sideline here. Now picking it up there for St. Louis Park's number 4, Abby Meyer. Meyer comes away with it. She crosses midfield, splits the defense, and loses it, and then she picks it up again. Nice job staying with it there for Abby Meyer. Now to the far side to number 37, chasing it. She lost it there, Ryan Rasmussen. And the whistle, did it go out of bounds? Looks like St. Louis Park's going to retain possession. So Rasmussen will start it off. Clock stopped at 1:13. Rasmussen now coming in towards the 20 along that line. Nice job there. She gets it into the middle. Good place to be to set up a play. That way she can go right or left.
1 minute remaining in the first.
1 minute to go here, first half. Exciting game here, 2-1. Not a lot of scoring, but very competitive all of a sudden. All right, St. Louis Park now behind the goal. Nice move, spin move there by Alyssa Barth. Barth now with it on the far side. 42 seconds to go. Barth gives it up. That's number 8 with it, I believe. Grace Schultz. Schultz now spins around. 32 seconds. St. Louis Park, they want to get a shot off here, at least a chance to get a goal. Can't score if you don't shoot. Now number 3 with it. Grace Lynch. Lynch loses it. Boy, I thought she might take a shot there. 21 seconds to go. Now Lynch passes it and goes over the head of number 22 for St. Louis Park. I think it's Hallie Weinman. Clock stopped, 13 and a half seconds. St. Louis Park loses possession. Very unfortunate here late in the first half. Hopkins, we'll see if they try to get it down the field in 13 seconds. I've seen it happen before. They give it up to the goalie, Bosch. Looks like she's just going to hold it here. And why not? I think to get it down that far, it'd be asking a lot, and if you had a turnover, it could turn into a goal. So smart play by Hopkins as that concludes half number 1. Score 2-1. Come on back for the competitive half number 2.
If I say heads up, what does that mean to you? It means be aware, be alert. Be prepared to prevent something bad from happening, like a concussion. Most concussions are preventable if you make the effort. Wear a helmet when you bike, wear a seatbelt when you're in the car, and always be aware and be safe. To learn more, go to cdc.gov/concussion. You want to prevent a concussion? It It's time to be heads up.
Welcome back to St. Louis Park High School and Varsity Girls Lacrosse. We are broadcasting on location here at the home field of St. Louis Park, where we are featuring the visiting Hopkins Royals from the Lake Conference against St. Louis Park, obviously in the Metro West. I'm Robert Christensen with ParkTV 16 Sports. Glad you're here with us. And we're about to begin half number 2. If you're just joining us, the score is 2-1. Hopkins got off to a roaring start with 2 quick goals in the first few minutes. Then St. Louis Park did answer back, and then they played scoreless for the bulk of the remainder of half number 1, and we're about to begin half number 2. I expect a really competitive contest. Again, glad you're with us, and we're about to begin at the center circle. St. Louis Park in white with orange numbers. Hopkins is in black with white, and St. Louis Park gets the face-off. That's the second one they won in a row here. After their first goal, they won that face-off too, and there's a pass in there. Not sure it was intended for by St. Louis Park. And now trying to get it, but losing it, was number 22, Holly Weinman. And now Hopkins has possession for the first time in the second half, and they get it to Erin Bosch, the goaltender, number 49. Smart move. But boy, she is being harassed there greatly there by Abby Meyer for St. Louis Park. Ball comes loose for Hopkins, picked up by St. Louis Park. Now they are back on the offense for the second time here in half number 2. Scooping it up there nicely. I think that's number, who's that? Can't read her number. Boy, they're awful small. That was number 8 with it, Grace Schultz. And now number 12 has it. That is Sarah McAllen. She has the lone goal for St. Louis Park. She's coming in looking for number 2, and as she tried to split the defense, they blew the whistle. The judge from behind her, he's the gentleman in your lower left-hand portion of your screen. And now they're directing traffic. And did they turn the ball over, or is McAllen? I think McAllen has it. She's going to have basically a point-blank shot and an excellent chance to tie this up. And she takes the shot and scores it. And she knows how to do it. Those bounce passes right at Erin Bosch. Bosch did not like it. But now the game is tied at 2. Just a minute and a half or so into half number 2. St. Louis Park off to a great start.
Scoring for St. Louis Park, her second goal.
And it is McAllen's second goal. The junior midfielder having a great night here at home on a beautiful night here at St. Louis Park.
26.
And McAllen will go to the center circle. So she is the all-around star here for the Orioles. And she'll go against number 8 at the faceoff. That's Kristin Mandeville, a senior midfielder. So it's interesting the different stances and positions they take here. The ball, you know, in men's lacrosse, they put it on the ground. And on women's lacrosse, they started at about shoulder length or waist length there. So now Hopkins, though, wins it. And number 12 had it there for Hopkins, Gamlinson, before she was being harassed and drew a whistle. But St. Louis Park got it. I think what I saw there was Gallinson was kind of using her arm to fend away the defender, and I think that was the infraction. But now the Royals have it back again, and again, that's Gamlinson. Gamlinson now trying to cross midfield. Boy, sticks up high on these women, and they don't wear masks and helmets like the guys do, which I find shocking, actually, even though they don't. I think they have rules that don't make it as rough. I think they play pretty rough out there. But that's the way it is. And now that is number 8 with it for Hopkins, Kristin Mandeville. And now we have another whistle, and it looks like Mandeville and the Royals will retain possession. Clock running now, 22 and a half minutes to go. Oh, and here Gamlinson comes right in, and nice save there by the goaltender for St. Louis Park. And that is Molly Hallett, 44. Nice save there on Gallinson. And now Hallett has it, 22. Nope, they're going to give it back to number 12, Gallinson. So much like McAllen just a moment ago. Gallinson point blank comes right in, and she was blocked there by St. Louis Park's number 8, came in and made the nice defensive play. Grace Schultz, the sophomore. And now play stopped, and now the ball's behind the St. Louis Park goal. And now we're back underway with number 6 for it for the Hopkins Royals. That's Abby Skadron. Scadron with it. Gets it back behind the net there to number 21, Charlotte Rich. Rich now back to McKeelson. McKeelson now, she comes right in and she takes a shot and she shoots and scores off the bounce shot. Those bounce shots work very well in this sport. If you ever play tennis, that's always a great offensive shot, is to try to hit that ball at your opponent's feet. And the same strategy works here when you're shooting on a goaltender. They're carrying a racket or a basket, much like a tennis racket. And it's very difficult in tennis to play a ball at your feet, and it's very difficult here to defend a shot like that that bounces right at your feet. Unlike hockey, they don't have the big pads to block those types of things in case they have to stop it with their legs or the basket. That's about it. Or they go down and block it with their whole body. That's another strategy, but I don't see that technique used much in this sport. Now, oh my goodness, big contact there. Boy, the forearms get up. I'm telling you what, these girls play tough. There's McAllen now. It is brutal out there. Anybody doesn't think this is a rough sport, it's a very rough sport. Okay, here they come in. They got sticks, no pads. Unbelievable, the bruises they must absorb here. Okay, now picked it up there is for Hopkins is number 12, Gallinson. So both number 12s are playing big roles on their respective teams. Gallinson for Hopkins and number 12, McAllen. And now here comes McKeelson, and she's got a full head of steam as she continues to get going here, and she cuts back into the middle, and her pass intended there for, I believe that was number 6, Abby Scadron. And yeah, that is Scadron. I got that number right. Unbelievable. Okay, Scadron now into the corner. Scadron now gets it up to number 8. Again, that is Mandeville. Mandeville now with it. Tie 3-2 is our score here. Hopkins up by just 1. They've led most of the way. St. Louis Park tied it up early in the second half here, and then they bounce back. And here comes McKeelson, and she's a tough girl, and she took a shot right on the face there. It looked like to me she's holding her nose. And that's what I'm talking about. I don't understand why they don't wear masks. They really should. I'm surprised. Okay, McKeelson has a shot. She's a little far out, though. She's going to get some defenders coming in here, just like last time. Number 8 on the right there, Mandeville, thwarted another scoring attempt. So watch the action here, folks. She comes right in. They try to stop her, and it's blocked in front by Hallett. Rebound goes to St. Louis Park. Nice defense there by the Orioles. Pass up ahead on the outlet pass, and she connects nicely on the bounce pass. And now that is number 28, I believe, for St. Louis Park. 27, Amelia Johnson. And down goes the St. Louis Park player. No whistle on the foul. And now Scadron for Hopkins has it. And she loses it. Nice defense by St. Louis Park's number 18, Emma Roloff there on Scadron. Almost was able to take it away. Now the ball is behind the Oriole net with number 21 for Hopkins with it, Charlotte Rich. Rich now just waiting, as watching her team, and they set up a play, actually, I could see out by the 15-yard line. They were kind of lined up, much like an out-of-bounds basketball play, and then they spread out and then tried to get a pass off. And meanwhile, Gallinson picks up the loose ball, but then she loses it. Ball still loose. Kind of looks like a soccer match in a way sometimes with the way the ball's getting kicked around there. And it still looks like a soccer match out there. Now ball coming out of bounds, and the whistle. The sidelines, by the way, folks, it's the orange line. I think that's orange. That's at least, it looks like 5 yards off what would be the football sideline. And now number 11 has it, and she stepped inbounds when she's going to, oh, now they're going to play her inbounds. That's number 11 for Hopkins trying to throw it. That's Dottie Galland. And she loses it on the inbounds pass, and it was picked up by number 8, Mandeville, and her pass gets blocked, and now it's loose again, and this time it goes out of bounds, and it'll be St. Louis Park possession with 17:34 to go here, second half. 3-2 is our score, St. Louis Park. If you're just joining us, this is actually a very entertaining match and competitive with just a 3-2-1 differential goal for Hopkins. And look at the action in here. Look at them just pushing and shoving each other. It's rough out there, folks. I am not kidding. All right, right below our press box here, that is number 8, Mandeville. St. Louis Park gets it ahead to number 13, or she tried to. That's Carmen Hushka. Now picked up by Abby Meyer. Meyer with it. All the way in, loses it, takes the shot, and goes right across the goal mouth in front of Aaron Bosch. And over to the far corner, chasing it for is St. Louis Park's Hallie Weinman. And she gets it in time, and she'll bring it back into the offensive zone. Now she passes it behind the net. St. Louis Park passing a lot better than they were at the beginning of the match here. And it is only their 3rd match of the year. So still some rust to get off here, but they are starting to settle in here. Now McAllen, who has both goals for St. Louis Park, you can bet Hopkins is putting all kinds of pressure on her as McKeelson came out to challenge her right in her face. Excuse me, that wasn't McAllen. That was Hallie Weinman again. 12 or 22. It's hard to tell the difference there for a second. Now back behind the net is number 13, Anna Nichols for Park. And that pass gets right by Bosch and out of bounds. Possession goes to the Royals. And they'll try to bring it up, but boy, the big pressure on the defensive end. That was number 42 with it for the Royals, Lindsay Sperling. Now crossing midfield is number 8, Kristin Mandeville. Mandeville with it. Mandeville all the way down for the Royals. And she'll turn back around as the St. Louis Park defense catches up, forces them back to regroup. With the ball in her basket there is Kristin Mandeville. Mandeville now to McKeelson, who loses it briefly, and she does get it. Meyer there couldn't come back across the 30. And now we have a whistle, and they're going to bring the ball back, but I think Hopkins is going to retain possession. It's McKeelson and number 8, Mandeville. That has been a tough matchup. Those two have been harassing each other all afternoon. Okay, McKeelson now winds around the goal, and now gets it to number 12. I think that's Gallinson. It is. Gallinson now with it. Pass in middle, she connects and a goal. What a nice play. That was outstanding. Pass to Sarah Cosberg, and she turns and scores it right in traffic there. Let's see if we can get a nice replay. I'm sure we can. And there is Gallinson. Here's the play. Gallinson scoops it up, winds around, and then quick pass there in the middle, splits the defense. And what was really important about that goal going in was how fast she turned and shot it before the defense could close in on her. So now back to a 2-goal lead for the Royals on the road here. Royals, though, have a 2-0 record. St. Louis Park 1-1. Okay, face-off back in the middle. 14:45 to go here, second half. St. Louis Park needs to keep on going, and here comes McAllen, and she's the woman to do it. She's coming all the way in, cuts left, keeps possession of the ball, takes a shot, and it's blocked by Bosch's foot, but then picked up by number 1 for St. Louis Park. That is Alyssa Barth. And we got a whistle, and Hopkins gets possession, it looks like now, on the turnover. It looked like an unforced error. Hopkins' number 42 is Lindsay Sperling. Sperling. And now picked up by number 13 for Hopkins. That is Carmen Hushka. And Hushka is racing down the left sideline, trying to get by the defender, number 18 for St. Louis Park, is marking her, Emma Roloff, and then Roloff does force the ball loose, coming over to try to pick it up. Again was number 8, Grace Schultz, but keeping with it for Royals was number 13, and now who has possession? It's in the far corner, now up to the slot at a 45-degree angle, and then Mikkelsen has it, and she'll hold on to it as they set up shop on offense here. Now to Gallinson, number 12, 13:25 to go here in the match. Royals trying to extend their lead by 3. They've been tied throughout here. Now Gallinson, pass down on the goal line, unable to connect and out of bounds. intended there for number 18, Julia Amato. And Amato now will pick it up, and it looks like the Royal, nope, it is a turnover. I thought it should be, it went out of bounds. So now the Park has it, and they'll try to go down the length of the field, see if they can get a goal. Bounce pass out there towards number 27. That is Amelia Johnson. Johnson now loses it, and now picked up again by Hopkins's number 18, Julia Amato. Amato now with it. Amato tries to get it to Mikkelsen, and she does successfully. She comes in now. She's got a head of steam, and she scores it. All the way in. Mikkelsen, number 15, on the pass from Amato, puts the Royals up 5-2 with 12:34 to go here. So things are looking dim here for the Orioles. Plenty of time left, but they got to get the next goal if they want to have a chance at winning this, in my opinion.
The assist goes to number 18, Julia Amato.
All right, we go back to the face-off, and for Hopkins, it looks like number 9 is going to take it this time. Relia Plotkin, junior defender, and against Sarah McCallan. McCallan has both goals for St. Louis Park tonight, and she wins all her face-offs, and she wins that one too. And watch, she's going to try to go right down and score this. Watch this, folks. She crosses the 20, the 15, the 10, comes in, tries to split the defense, and does lose it. Boy, you'd think someone might be open right at that point. Just like a point guard in basketball, when they drive, if they draw a double team, that usually leaves somebody open for an easy basket. It's not quite the same with this many players in this type of situation. But it doesn't look like she's ever looking to pass, but she's going to get a point-blank shot, so who am I to criticize that? She's a little bit far out, so she's going to get some trouble as she comes in there, but she just takes the shot and blocked by Bosch right off her right, I think, shin, or off her right knee. But the rebound does go to number 1, Alyssa Barth, for St. Louis Park, so still a chance on this possession for the Orioles. Now behind the net there is number 22 with it, Weinman. Weinman tried to get it inside, and the pass went awry, and now it's loose and picked up by the Royals. And nice lead pass to Mikkelsen, and she is dangerous, and she's got a break here. She's got open players on her right and her left as she tries to split the defense. She's coming right down the middle, and she takes the shot and scores it. Another goal by Mikkelsen, her second in a row in just a couple minutes. Boy, they had numbers on that breakout, didn't they? You could just see it. It was beautiful as they had a player to her right and a player to her left, and she just went right in and put it inside that right post, as the replay shows there. Mikkelsen for Hopkins, Olivia Mikkelsen.
Number 15, Olivia Michelson.
All right, now we have a timeout
13-47.
taken by St. Louis Park, and not a bad time to take one to regroup here. They've given up 4 goals here in half number 2. And that is a problem. So coach for St. Louis Park, Kyle Sweeney, is going to talk it over with his players, and gives us an opportunity to look at the St. Louis Park upcoming schedule. And there you can see today is April 23rd, Hopkins, and then they play Minneapolis on Friday, Irondale and Robbinsdale Cooper, all home matches. So if you want to come out, beautiful weather, should be more regular these days, and this is a nice place to be when it's nice out. Then we got at Chaska, at Visitation, St. Paul Academy. Then they got home matches at Chanhassen and Columbia Heights, more in the middle of May. But it is great action here tonight. I'd say it's very exciting lacrosse, very competitive. Although Hopkins has started to assert themselves here in the second half, St. Louis Park has had their chances and just unable to convert here in half number 2. But the scoring has kind of exploded here for the Hopkins Royals. As we look at the Royals team as they kind of regroup, as they say, and they are a group and they are regrouping, and they got their hands in there. Last few words by Coach Sweeney. So Hopkins comes out of the break there. St. Louis Park still talking about it. All right, let's see what answer St. Louis Park has here. We'll go to the center face-off circle where Sarah McCallan will take the draw again. And as far as I can tell, she hasn't lost a face-off all evening here. And usually when she gets that face-off, she has one thing in mind, and that is to rush that net as fast as she can and either draw a penalty and a point-blank shot or score it. So here we go. Let's see how it plays out this time. McCallan and Kristin Mandeville for Hopkins at the face-off. And ball comes up, and McCallan wins it again, and she loses possession but picks it up. And now she'll give it up. Nice pass ahead there to number 23, and she took a shot near the head. 23 for St. Louis Park, Geraldine Lopez. Gosh, that's gotta hurt. Looked like she got the stick right across the jaw. Okay, now 23, Lopez with it. She spins around and dumps it off. And I believe that's number 22 with that Weinman. It is Weinman now being marked well there by Hopkins' number 11, Dottie Galland. And we got a whistle. Galland, and excuse me, that was number 27 with it, Amelia Johnson for St. Louis Park. It was 27, not 22, and she will have it as they blow the whistle. She comes right in from a 45-degree angle, pass intended there for Abby Meyer in the middle, and she couldn't handle it. Might have been a little bit behind her, and now for St. Hopkins is number 3, Ruth Vogel has it. Ball comes loose, so St. Louis Park now has it. Is that McCallan? I think it is, and she shoots, and it stopped in front, and we had a whistle right as she was shooting it. And is it an offsides call? That could be what a lot of these are. If it's offsides like soccer, then you can't be ahead of the ball, but McCallan, from about 12 yards away at the top of the circle, will have a chance against Aaron Bosch. And there's the shot and a goal. McCallan gets the hat trick. And it's 6-3. 9:34, time of the goal. McCallan following the whistle. And there's some discussion there, and there she is. Stellar play by Sarah McCallan. Look at the fire on that shot, and right low, and nothing that Aaron Bosch could do, Leah Bosch could do with that. So nice answer following the timeout. Worked well for St. Louis Park. And it's 6-3. All right, we go back to the center circle now. McCallan, 3 goals on the night, and she is responsible for all 3 on the board as it is 6-3. So we still have a chance here with 9:34 to go, but I think I'm safe in saying that St. Louis Park probably cannot afford to give up any other goals. They want to have a chance at getting the W here tonight. All right, we're waiting, player running off there for Hopkins. And again, in the center circle, in addition to McCallan, is number 8, Kristin Mandeville. It's been mostly those 2 at the center circle. Mandeville is yet to win one of these. So a chance for St. Louis Park to try to get possession here and score again. McCallan and Mandeville. And McCallan couldn't quite get it, but her teammate does. No. That's number 9. Trying to, is that number 9 or 8? It must be 8. There is no 9 in here. That's Grace Schultz. And they're going to give her possession. So the face-off, I would say that was won by St. Louis Park. They have possession ensuing that. And now here we go. Grace Schultz with it. And she loses it without much provocation. And picked up again there. This time by Meyer. Abby Meyer coming in. Boy, she's got 5 defenders to beat, and she tried to get it in, and it bounced off her basket and right into the basket of the goaltender, Bosch, and now she quickly gets it out, but St. Louis Park trying to keep possession, and they do successfully. That's number 27 with it for St. Louis Park, Amelia Johnson, and down both players go. Oi. That looked bad. And Let's see the replay here. Look at the, went right off the basket and right into the goaltender's hand. That almost would have been a goal. Number 13 it was intended for. Anna Nichols just couldn't quite handle it. Otherwise, if she had, I think that could have easily turned into a goal, as there was no one between her and the net, and the goaltender was out of position to make the save. But as it turns out, it went right to the goaltender and an easy save. And now we're back underway after the collision on the far side of the field. And Abby Meyer will retain possession as we check the clock as we come up on 8 minutes to go here. Second half, and the pass by Meyer in the middle is loose on the ground and still picked up, and then we got another whistle. And that is number 23, Jerlise Lopez. Lopez with it. And she turns it around, and there's the pass. And that is McAllen, I believe. And she comes in, and no, that's number 13 actually with it for St. Louis Park. That's Anna Nichols. One number off, 13 and 12. And now Hopkins on the turnover. That's number 36 for Hopkins with it. 36 is Q Snope. Snope with it, and she still has it right at midfield there, right under our press box, and she still has possession, and she's off to the races across the 40, the 35. Plenty of room around her, an open player in front of her. She cuts in a 45-degree angle coming right at the net. Nobody is stopping her, and she does turn around finally and dumps it off to, it's number 16 for Hopkins, Maya Weller, junior midfielder. And now Hopkins will set up shop with a 3-goal lead and approaching 6.5 minutes to go in the match as we look at number 8 with it. 8 is Kristin Mandeville. Mandeville still with it, now being challenged by number 23, Lopez, and we draws another whistle. And I think Mandeville will retain possession at the 25-yard line in between the hash marks, and she's off in the middle. She trots in, trying to maneuver her way through, and she loses it, and it's picked up by St. Louis Park, and the head pass is successful, and crossing the field for St. Louis Park is number 17, or 18, I should say. That must be roll-off. And it's lost. It picked up by Hopkins, and they race back now, approaching midfield, and the lead pass, and she connects. Unbelievable. Or no, she didn't, and they were chasing it. Boy, the light is right into my eyes here, so it's real difficult to see that. And the ball is loose in front of the St. Louis Park net, and it's picked up by Park. Park now with it in their own zone, trying to clear it. Tough to see that number. I think that's really tough. We need a spotter, I think. Okay, now ball ahead, and chasing is McAllen, and she picks it up. She might have a chance, and she gets it to a little too late, but she does pick it up successfully, and she has it. She's got all 3 goals tonight for the Orioles. Now it's picked up by number 3 as she comes in. 3 is Vogel. Vogel now loses it. Picked up by Abby Meyer, and she gets turned away by Gallinson. She turns around and puts it on goal, and it goes in. Wow, Abby Meyer, nice job there. I think she got the goal. I'm not sure. Would have to look at the replay. She definitely made that goal happen. Let's see the replay here. Meyer, and she passes it to number 13, and number 13 deposited in a great pass by Meyer to Carmen Hush, or excuse me, number 13 is Anna Nichols. So Nichols from Meyer.
Scoring for St. Louis Park, number 13, Anna Nichols.
And that cuts the lead to just 2 with 4:55 to go here, folks. So we've got us a match here. St. Louis Park was down 6-2. They took a timeout, and now they've come back with 2 straight goals to cut it within 2. And we go back to the face-off circle. And boy, this is where these face-offs really matter. If you're St. Louis Park, McAllen there has 3 goals tonight, and she's winning almost all the face-offs, and they need to win these face-offs now here again, down 2 late in this match. And the ball comes loose, and St. Louis Park, they do win that face-off. That's Alyssa Barth with it, number 1, and then she loses it to Gallinson. Gallinson to Mickelson, and Mickelson is dangerous. She's got at least 2 goals tonight. She might have 3. Here comes Mickelson. She is very tough to stop. And they do turn her away, and you wonder if Hopkins is just going to try to milk this clock a little bit more now. The time of possession and time is really the enemy of the Orioles here as they try to come back down 4. And now Hopkins will settle it down there. Top of the key for Hopkins is number 8, Kristin Mandeville. Mandeville trying to get inside there, and she draws a whistle. And the clock's still running, and we have 4 minutes to go here. Now under 4. And that is number 8 for Hopkins, is Kristin Mandeville. Mandeville. Mandeville gets it to Mickelson. Mickelson now. 3.5 minutes to go. Mickelson. And she draws a whistle. She was being harassed by St. Louis Park's number 8, Grace Schultz. And that will bring the ball back, and possession remains with Mickelson and the Hopkins Royals as now she comes right towards the net, and she does steer herself clear, I think realizing the clock is her friend. And we approach 3 minutes to go. And boy, St. Louis Park needs to get that ball back into their possession. That is going to be, could be a tough chore here. If you're the Hopkins Royals, you want to be sure of those passes. And now Mickelson has it on the left side as she trots back up towards the 10-yard line. And she'll bring it up all the way around and just take her time. 2:40 to go here. Now Gallinson, she's also very dangerous, and I don't know what St. Louis Park does. That's what they got to do. They got to come out and challenge her, but then that allows her to come right in on the net, and she scores it, and that's going to do it. That makes it 7-4 with 2:29 to go. Clock stopped at 2:29. Gallinson, you know, that's the risk you take. You come out and challenge it, and there was no help there on that pressure. As you see the replay. So Gallinson gets the goal, and that might be the turn out the lights goal, as Don Meredith used to sing on old Monday Night Football matches back in the day. But you never know. 3 goals in 2:29. It's happened before in lacrosse, and if anybody can do it, it's Sarah McCallan, and she'll take the center face-off again. Very competitive, very entertaining match here this afternoon and this evening. And there's McCallan trying to get the face-off, and St. Louis Park's won every face-off all afternoon, and this time they're going to give it to Hopkins. That's a killer right there. If they want to have any chance, and that's Mickelson with it as she comes in to the 4 at about the 20-yard line, and she'll turn around, and I can't believe why they would ever want to try to score, except it's probably really fun to score, so they'll probably keep the pressure on. And that's Gallinson, who got just the last goal. She's had a great match for the Hopkins Royals. Ball comes back out, loses it. Chance for St. Louis Park, and that's Abby Meyer with it, and a quick pass. Nicely done. That was beautiful. Coming into the offensive zone, and they've got numbers now, St. Louis Park, all the way in. And it gets stripped away by number 11 for Hopkins. Coming up there was Dottie Galan, and that drew a whistle. And I think Park's going to retain possession, and with it, following the whistles, number 13, Anna Nichols, who got the last goal. Nichols now has a chance to get her second consecutive goal here for the Orioles and cut it back to 2 with 1:37 to go. Clock stop, but now back underway. Oh, a pass is unable to connect over there with number 3, Grace Lynch. And that was a chance for St. Louis Park, and now Royals have possession, but looks like Park is trying to take it back there, and yes, it is scooped up by Park, so they do have a chance. Nice move there across the 40. Here comes the Orioles. That is, who is that? I can't read the number. That's number 8, I believe. That's Grace Schultz. And the ball came right in on the goaltender, and the referee waved off any possible infraction. He had his yellow flag out, but I don't know if that was on purpose. He almost threw it. I think he was going to throw it, and then he decided against it. So 59.1 seconds to go here. Orioles down 3. Hopkins with possession. And they get it to Leah Bosch, their goaltender. She's played decent tonight for the Royals. And she's just holding on to it. Clock running, 45 seconds to go. And she's just going to hold on to it, getting harassed there and getting beaten up, and then they draw the whistle. And an infraction against the Orioles will allow the ball to stay with Hopkins. All right, ball loose. And now it comes to number 42 for Hopkins. That is Lindsay Sperling. And now with it is Skadron for the Royals. 20 seconds to go. As Skadron crosses midfield, she might try to get on the scoring board here. Boy, she is fast as she comes all the way down from 60, 70 yards away, tries to take a shot, and she scores it. Skadron adds another goal to 8-4 with 8.9 seconds. Boy, that was impressive. Skadron coming all the way down. Look at her speed. Right by 3 Orioles, cuts in the middle, and the ball goes right in the net. I don't even think the St. Louis Park goaltender saw it, Molly Hallett. I didn't see it with that sun coming right in on us. Yeah, so, but nevertheless, the score is 8-4, 8.9 seconds to go. And the face-off, it goes to the Orioles, but that is going to do it, folks. Our final whistle, and that means our final score here from St. Louis Park High School are the Hopkins Royals 8, St. Louis Park 4. St. Louis Park goes to 1-2, Hopkins goes to 3-0, and so for Paul Broden, our producer, our entire camera crew, I'm Robert Christensen. Thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again.